Welcome back to Unit 3. We are focusing today on the second method for solving systems of equations. It is referred to as substitution because we are going to be using substitution several times in this method. This is probably the most challenging method for students to grasp, so it's absolutely important that you are getting your notes very thorough and you ask questions in class if there's anything that you need clarified. So the first thing we're going to look at are some step-by-step instructions. Now, instead of trying to confuse you and read all of these up front and you're looking at me like I'm crazy, we're going to read one step and apply it to the first example, and then go back and read the second step and apply. So step number 1 says, solve one equation for one of its variables. Now notice there was nothing specific said there, so we're going to add a couple of little notes. Okay, so here's my little note that I would add here. Solve for a variable without a number in front. That's my helpful hint to get you started. So let's look at step number 1 with example number 1. So as you can see, we have two equations. There's a total of 4 letters here. Let me point them out. We have the first x, the first y, the second x, and the second y. Now, according to my suggestion, we're going to focus on a letter that doesn't have a number in front. Well, if I look at those 4 options, the only letter that doesn't have a number in front of it is that guy right there. That's where we're going to start. We want to get that letter by itself. So I'm going to put up my line because I know that's helpful to you guys. If I want y by itself, I'm going to subtract 3x from both sides. That leaves me with negative y equals negative 3x plus 13. Now, y is not completely by itself yet. There is a negative in front of it, and that is a negative 1. So I'm going to divide all 3 numbers by negative 1. That leaves me with y equals negative 3 divided by negative 1 is positive 3x, and 13 divided by negative 1 is negative 13. That's all there is to step 1, getting a letter by itself. Let's go back to the instructions. Step 2 says we are going to substitute the expression from step 1 into the other equation and solve. So I'm going to put in a helpful note here. I do what's called connect the dots. It's a visual that I think will help you guys. So let me show you what I mean. Here's how we play connect the dots. Circle the letter you just got by itself. I just got y by itself. Now, we're substituting into the other equation. So come over to this equation and circle the exact same letter. I'm going to circle that y. Notice I did not circle the 2, just the y. And I'm going to connect those dots. Here's what's going to happen. I'm going to substitute. Now, you guys should hopefully know by now, substitute means something comes out and something takes its place. The letter you just circled, the y, this is what's coming out. And the stuff over here, that is what's taking its place. And we're going to use parentheses. So watch. 3x, not going to change. Plus 2, not going to change. Y is going to change. It's coming out. I'm going to put parentheses in its place. And in those parentheses is going to be what I found over here. 3x minus 13. I'm going to close those parentheses. That's the only thing that's changing. Equals negative 10 is also not changing. Now, the rest of that step says, now that we've substituted, we need to solve. I'm going to put up my line, and we're going to solve like we did in Unit 1. First step, distributing. Keep the 3x. 2 times 3x is positive 6x. 2 times negative 13 is negative 26. Keep the equals negative 10. After we distribute, we always combine like terms. 3x plus 6x is 9x minus 26 equals negative 10. Now we need to get x by itself, so we're going to add 26 to both sides. We get 9x equals positive 16. Now we're going to divide by 9. And if you type in your calculator 16 divided by 9, you get a very long decimal. We are not allowed to use decimals here unless they stop. So if you hit math, enter, enter, it puts you back to 16 over 9. That is the end of step 2. Step 3, we are going to substitute the answer from step 2 into the equation from step 1 and solve. Again, we're going to play connect the dots. So let's take a look. Circle the letter you just got. I just got X. Come back over to this side. Circle the same letter. There's my X. Connect those dots. So the X is the thing that's changing this time. Y stays the same. 3 stays the same. X comes out. In parentheses, we put 16 over 9. And then the minus 13 also stays. So at this point, we pick up our calculators. Your calculators does the hard part. 3 parentheses 16 divided by 9, close parentheses, minus 13. Now again, you probably got an ugly decimal. So all we have to do is hit math, enter, enter, and you get negative 23 over 3. Let's look at the final step of the process. Step number 4, we state our solution. If you get an answer for x and y, you write it as a pair. These are our 2 special cases that we'll look at in a few minutes. So I'm going to take and I'm going to write an ordered pair. X comes first, 16 over 9. Y comes second, negative 23 over 3. Okay, so this is a longer process. Remember, get a letter by itself, play connect the dots and solve, play connect the dots again and solve, and then write your answer. So let's look at our next example together. We have 4 letters. First X, first Y, second X, second Y. We want to pick the one without a number in front. Well, the only one with no letter in front is that X. Now, this is going to seem a little backwards to you guys. We want to get X by itself. So let's watch what happens. Put up your line. X is not allowed to move. 3Y must move instead. I'm going to subtract 3Y from both sides. Yes, this looks a little strange. That leaves us with negative X equals negative 3Y plus 1. X is not totally by itself. That is an imaginary negative 1. So we're going to divide by negative 1 everywhere. Cancel. We get x equals negative 3 divided by negative 1 is positive 3y, and positive 1 divided by negative 1 is negative 1. I know we've never gotten x by itself. It's okay to do it here. Now, step 1 is done. Step 2, we play connect the dots. Circle the letter you got by itself. That would be x. Come over to the other equation. Circle the same letter. That would be x. And connect them. This time, the x is changing. 4 stays the same. X is going to change. Put parentheses. 3y minus 1 is taking its place. Then, plus 6y doesn't change, and equals 8 does not change. Now we are ready to solve. Put up our fence. Distribute. 4 times 3y is 12y. 4 times negative 1 is negative 4. Bring down the plus 6y. Bring down the equals 8. Now we need to combine like terms. 12y's plus 6y's is 18y's. Take away 4 equals 8. Now we need to add 4 to both sides. So we get 18y equals 8 plus 4 is 12. We then need to divide by 18. And we get y equals 12 divided by 18 gives you a decimal. When you hit math, enter, enter, you should get 2/3. That is the end of step 2. Now we are ready to play connect the dots again. Step 3, this is the letter we just got. We come over here to the bottom, find that exact same letter, and connect them. This time, we start with x equals 3 does not change. Y, I write parentheses. I got an answer of 2/3. And the minus 1 doesn't change. Pick up your calculators. 3 parentheses, 2 divided by 3 minus 1. You end up with x equals 1. Final answer must be written as a pair. X always comes first, so we put down 1. Y comes second, so we put down 2/3. Okay, we're going to try one more together because I want to make sure you really understand the 3-step process. All right, let's look at example 3 together. So turn the page if you haven't done so. We have, again, 4 choices. The first x, the first y, the second x, and the second y. The only one without without a number is the second y. That's the letter we're getting by itself. Put up your line. It's okay to start on the other side of the problem, by the way. Don't let that confuse you. We want y by itself. We want to move negative 3x by adding 3x. That leaves us with y equals positive 3x minus 5. This one doesn't have anything left. Y really is by itself. So we are done with step 1. Time to play, connect the dots. The letter we just got was Y. I come over to the other equation and circle Y, and I connect them. 9x, not going to change. Minus 3, not going to change. The Y changes. I write parentheses. I come over here. 3x minus 5 is going in its place. Close parentheses. And the equals 15 doesn't change. We are ready to solve. Put up your line. 9x comes down. Don't make any mistakes here, guys. That is a negative 3 times a positive 3x. That's a negative 9x. Negative 3 times negative 5 is a positive 15. Bring down the equals 15. We are ready to combine like terms. Well, 9x minus 9x is a little different. 9x, take away 9x is 0. Those cancel. There's no x's left. The only thing left is 15 equals 15. This is where we're going to go back to the notes. We can't do anymore. This is one of your special cases, so we're going to jot down some additional notes. On these two cases, all variables cancel. Like they just did. Now there's two situations. If what you have left is a false statement, it is no solution. If everything that you have left is true, it is infinitely many solutions. So we just need to decide if what we have left is false for no solution or true for infinitely many solutions. 15 equals 15. Well, I think that's true. 15 will always equal 15. This is a true statement. So our correct answer is infinitely many solutions. And we are done with that problem. Okay. How about we go ahead and start one more together, and then we'll let you do the very last one all by yourself. Let's look at example 4. So, back to step 1. We have the first x, first y, second x, second y. Here's a problem. All of them have numbers. So we're going to make a little note down here. If all variables have numbers, choose 2, 4, 5, or 10. Those 4 choices, if you have one of them, will always give you a nice decimal. So, do I see a 2, a 4, a 5, or a 10 somewhere? I do. I see 2 options. I'm going to go with the smaller one. That y has a 2. That's where I'm going to start. I want y by itself, so I'm going to add 3x to both sides. We are left with 2y equals 3x plus 7. I'm going to divide everything by 2. That leaves me with y equals. Now here, decimals are okay. 3 divided by 2 is 1.5x, and 7 divided by 2 is 3.5. Time to play. Connect the dots. Circle the y. Come over here. Circle the y. And connect them. Let's see what we're left with. 6x stays. Minus 4 stays. Y changes to parentheses. We're going to put this mess inside the parentheses. 1.5x plus 3.5, close parentheses, keep the equals 14. Now we are ready to solve. Let's distribute. Keep the 6x. This is a negative 4 times a positive 1.5. That gives us negative 6x. Negative 4 times positive 3.5 is negative 14 equals positive 14. Combine like terms. 6x minus 6x, well, 6 take away 6 is 0. Those cancel. We are left with negative 14 equals positive 14. All variables are gone. We have a special case. Is negative 14 equal to positive 14? And the answer to that is no. This is a false statement, which means the correct answer to this problem is no solution. Okay, last example I do want you to try completely on your own. Pause the video and finish this last one. Let's see how you guys did. The variable without a letter, without a number is right here. Y. Put up your line. We need to move x, so add 2x to both sides. That leaves you with y equals 2x plus 4. Y is by itself. Step 2, connect the dots. Y connects with y. Looks like 3x stays plus 2 stays. In parentheses, we write 2x plus 4 equals 1. Time to solve. Keep 3x, distribute. 2 times 2x is positive 4x. 2 times 4 is positive 8 equals 1. Combine like terms. 3x plus 4x is 7x plus 8 equals 1. Subtract 8. 7x equals 1 take away 8 is negative 7. Divide both sides by 7. X equals negative 7 divided by positive 7 is negative 1. Last step, connect the dots again. This time circle x. Come over here, circle x. Connect them. Y stays, 2 stays, x changes to negative 1, plus 4. Calculator, 2 times negative 1 plus 4, you should get a positive 2 for y. Final answer, x comes first of negative 1, y comes second, 2. All right, and that is the end of the video. And you can get started on your homework. See you guys in class.